Hi! If you are tearing out your last hair due to the development of AI and your friends and even pets laugh at your work, then I sympathize. I cannot help with this. But I can teach you how to paint a portrait, following the example of my work, and I will also guide you through all stages of creating this piece. So, if you like the result, then stay, and if not, then stay too, you have nothing to do anyway, right? Let's start. So first you need to set up your program. If your workspace is kind of fucked up and you're looking for the right tool for an hour, then don't be surprised that you spend 1,000 hours on your work. Set up the interface and hotkeys, believe me, it will save you a lot of time. So this is what my workspace look like. I use everything what I need at the right side, namely colors, navigator, layers and tools. Simply what I use most of the time. With the exception of brushes, I change them less often than I use colors and tools, so I put them at the left side. Before starting, find a good reference. I'm not talking about the resolution, but the quality of the lighting in a photo. Try to avoid flat lighting like your ex. And so, let's move to the most pleasing and disgusting part, to the line art. To be honest, I don't have any specific process for the starting work. Sometimes I start with the clean lines, sometimes with the rough sketch, and sometimes I completely ignore the lines altogether and start with a spot. If you feel that you are not entirely confident in your abilities, I will advise you to make a sketch first and only then make clear lines on top of it. Your accuracy will have a 50% impact on your success. Your lines are like the foundation of your work. The next step will be filling with colors. This is the simplest step, just paint under your lines as you like, using those combination of colors that you like the most. Color is the least thing you should worry about when creating a piece. Color is very difficult to understand actually. The easiest way to not get dirty colors is just to change saturation and hue with each tone transition. And also to make some color variation on your skin. Shadows are what give the volume to the objects. They cannot be neglected. I strongly do not recommend using multiply and overlay for the beginners. Yes, they're very effective, but I want you to learn how to choose colors and tones by yourself. How much darker the shadow will be depends on the light strength, but if it's difficult for you to control the tones like morning direction, then here's the life hack for you, okay? Pick up the local color and move the slider to the middle between your color and black. But how to choose the shadow color? So you just pick the local color and in the hue slider you just move it up or down, or if you have a color wheel, right or left, to change a temperature of your color. The main thing is that your shadow color differs from your local mid-tone color, but not as much that it looks like something alien. When we have made a choice, the most difficult part begins, namely to determine all the planes of the face, the strength of the light, and based on this data decide where the shadows will be located. Try not to make transitions. We will get to that later. So let's move to the highlights. They are like reflection of the light source, and the color of them will be directly depend on what color is your light source. But you can hammer it and make it any color really. I know for sure that you don't have to follow the laws of physics to choose the beautiful colors. Highlights are located in the place where the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. Marco Bucci has a whole video about this topic, and I will advise you to watch it. If super briefly, then the skin will be less bright and diffused, but the hair, on the contrary, it's all about the roughness of the object and the degree of its reflective properties. There are also videos on this subject on YouTube. Having determined the highlights, all we have to do is to render and blend the edges. But it doesn't mean just blurring the edges, okay? When making transitions, you must take into account how far the planes are turned away from the light source. And based on this information, sculpt the halftones. Personally, I simplify this step. Here I can find the halftone and draw it wherever the planes are turned away from the light source at the same angle approximately. And there can be any number of intermediate value steps. It all depends on the style and degree of rendering that you need. The main thing to remember is that the midtones are always in the light family, so don't make them too dark. They're usually a step darker than the light. The next step will be details, and here everything depends on you. You can generalize details, or you can look 15 years old in your 40s. Yeah. Here I can advise you to be patient and analyze the reference. Already at this stage, your work may look very nice, but you can polish it as much as you want, blurring the edges, making transitions, etc. An additional step is optional. You can add some color notes in your forehead, nose, cheeks and ears, some blue on the chin, but only for men. Don't make the blue chins for women, they look weird, like they have the beard, or actually they can't have it. In conclusion, I would like to say that this is just how I approach creating a portrait. Everything I said in the forum is the principles that I adhere to. Do not think that those are rules. In the description I will attach a PSD file with the work and steps. Then there will be a small speed paint of this work. Enjoy and see you soon!